Hi, in this video, I'll show you how to allocate time, how to pace yourself correctly during an exam. I've always scored very high on standardized tests, like super high, and knowing how to pace myself has played an important role in that process. So now I'm passing it on to you. I have a longer video at the link above and also in the description where I walk through all the calculations step by step. This video is a shorter version of that. The question is, how do I allocate time during an exam so I don't run out of time at the end? The answer is allocate time by the point values of the questions. Don't think of it as allocating time per question. It's by the points. Unless you're taking a multiple choice test where all questions are worth the same point values, in which case allocating by points and by questions are equivalent. But in a test where some questions are worth more and other worth less, it's not the same. And your job during a test is to accumulate points, not questions. Therefore, you want to allocate time by points. Second, you want to mark the pacing on the test itself or on scratch paper if the test is online and you can't write on it. Don't just try to hold the information in your head. You want to reserve brain power to do the test, not to remember time. And third, mark the pacing using time on the clock, such as 3:30 p.m. Not just number of minutes, like not just 45 minutes. In the middle of an exam, you may not remember what time the test started. If you mark down 45 minutes, you don't want to have to stress out over, wait, was it 45 minutes from 2:30 or from 2:40? I'll show two main approaches in this video. They are mathematically equivalent, but you may find one easier or harder to do. I actually use them both depending on the type of test. The two approaches are, number one, mark the clock time at 25%, 50%, 75%, and end of test. And number two is to mark the clock time at certain customized point values in the test. Let's take example one. Exam has 10 questions, all different values, 100 points total, and is for 2 hours. Test starts at 1:05 p.m. And the different point values are shown. Question 1, 10 points. Question 2, 3, and 4 are 5 points each. Question 5, 10 points. Question 6, 20 points. Question 7, 10 points. Question 8, 15 points. And questions 9 and 10 are 10 points each. Now, if the exam is online and the questions are on the screen, write down the list of questions and their point values on scratch paper. That way you have something to write on. First, note the start and end time. Test starts at 1:05 p.m. plus 2 hours means it ends at 3:05 p.m. Here's how we're going to pace ourselves. We will mark the 25%, 50%, 75% and end times of the test and pace ourselves that way. And we will actually mark the 50% point first. In the longer video, I drew a timeline to explain the math behind this calculation. I won't do that in this video. You can check out the link in the description section. I put the start and end times on the test. Now I find the halfway point or the 50% point. Half of 100 points is 50 points. Remember, we're allocating by points. Half of 2 hours is 1 hour. So let's find the 50 points. Start adding from the beginning. Question 1 is 10 points. 10 plus 5 makes 15, plus 5 makes 20, plus 5 makes 25, plus 10 makes 35, plus 20 makes 55. The end of question 6 is 55 points. So the 50-point mark is near the end of question 6. Mark that. And 1 hour from 1:05 is 2:05 p.m. Put the timer of 2:05 right there. That means by 2:05 p.m. you need to be near finishing question 6. If you're pretty good at time, maybe this is all you need. Maybe you only need one time reminder. But most of us are not like that. I'd recommend continuing on and mark the 25% and 75% marks. Let's find the 25% point by taking half of 50%, half of half. Just go half of what we already computed. 50% of points was 50 points. So 25% of points is half of that, 25 points. In terms of time, 50% was 1 hour. So 25% of time is half of that, 30 minutes. Now we put it on the test. We find the 25 points from the beginning. Question 1 is 10 points, plus 5 equals 15, plus 5 equals 20, plus another 5 equals 25 points. The 25-point mark is right here after question 4. And we need to get there after 30 minutes. 30 minutes from 1:05 is 1:35, write it down. Now we want to find the 75% mark. We can either add 25 points from the 50% mark, or we can go back 25 points from the end. In this case, the 50% mark is inside of question 6. That makes it a little uncertain how we'll add the 25 points. Instead, let's subtract 25 points from the end. From the end, question 10 is 10 points. Plus question 9, 10 points equals 20 points. We need 5 more points, so that places us near the end of question 8. That's our 75% mark. And it should be 30 minutes before the end at 3:05. That makes it 2:35. Write down 2:35 at that mark. This is our time chart. We want to pace ourselves according to these clock times. By 1:35, we need to have finished question 4. By 2:05, we need to be near the end of question 6. By 2:35, we need to be near the end of question 8. And we need to finish everything by 3:05. That means that if you are behind, you may have to skip some questions. Let's move to the next example. Example 2. This is a situation where the test has only a few questions, but they all have different point values. Something like this. This tends to happen more in an advanced class. 4 questions, 100 points total. 2 hours start at 3:10 p.m. Question 1, 15 points. Question 2, 25 points. Question 3, 25 points. Question 4, 35 points. Since these are high-value questions, they deserve their own custom time allocation and not just the generic 25%, 50%, 75%. We do it by computing how many minutes per point, then multiply it by number of points for each specific question. Let's compute. First, 2 hours equals 120 minutes. 120 minutes divided by 100 points equals 1.2 minutes per point. Let's look at each of the 4 questions and their point values. Question 1 has 15 points. 1.2 minutes per point times 15 points equals 18 minutes. That starts at 3:10 p.m. plus 18 minutes equals 3:28 p.m. Write that down. We need to finish question 1 by 3:28 p.m. Question 2, 25 points. Times 1.2 minutes equals 30 minutes. 3:28 plus 30 minutes equals 3:58 p.m. Write that down. Question 3 is also 25 points like question 2, so it's also 30 minutes. 3:58 plus 30 minutes gets me to 4:28. Write that down. Finally, question 4 at 35 points times 1.2 minutes equals 42 minutes. 4:28 p.m. plus 42 minutes gets me to 5:10 p.m. Write that down. By the way, I could also have gotten the 5:10 p.m. at the end by taking the start time of 3:10 and add 2 hours. Either way, this is my pacing guide. When the questions are high values, you want to do it this way. Customs time limit for every question. All right? Here's a summary. The main principle is to allocate time by point values, not by question. Except if the questions are all equal values, then allocating by question is okay. Write the times down on the test itself so you can see it. Or if the test is online, then on scratch paper. And use time on the clock, like time of day. There are two main approaches. First approach is to mark the end time, mark the 50%, which is half the time and half the point values, then half of that, which gets us to 25% and 75% of both the time and point values. The second approach is to customize, compute minutes per point and multiply by the number of points of each question. All right, hope that helps. Any questions or comments, ask in the comments section below. Like, share, and subscribe for more contents, and thanks for watching. Bye.